Upon his return to the village, it's safe to say Graham encountered a chilly welcome from fellow villagers, including his former partner, Kim Tate, Claire King, Rona and Joe Tate, Ned Porteous, to whom Graham had served as a legal guardian and paternal figure, reports the Mirror. Whilst Joe was initially shocked, he subsequently had a change of heart regarding Graham and extended an invitation for him to remain at home farm. In an attempt to create domestic harmony, Kim consented to Graham moving back into the farm with Joe, recognizing it would bring Joe joy. Graham's soap return has also thrilled numerous viewers, with many left captivated by the character and his rich, velvety voice. "I love Graham and his sexy voice," enthused one person previously, whilst another commented, "Graham with that voice, though?" Love heart eyes emoji. Nevertheless, actor Andrew, who originates from Harrogate, speaks completely differently in reality. During a 2018 chat on ITV's Lorraine, Andrew discussed the soap with the presenter, and his voice contrasted sharply with his Emmerdale persona, as Andrew possesses a subtle northern accent. Speaking about Graham's surprising resurrection and comeback to Emmerdale, Andrew previously disclosed, "I never expected it at all. Although saying that, I did think that Graham always had a possibility of coming back." Concerning keeping his return under wraps, the 52-year-old performer admitted, "Oh yes, it's been a big secret, and I kept it mostly quiet from my family, which was tricky." He went on to reveal whom he had trusted with the information, stating, "Oh yes, just a limited few certainly. It is on one hand. In fact, I had some cousins who contacted me after it was shown, saying, 'You sod.'" For years, Emmerdale viewers believed Graham Foster was gone for good. His apparent demise had felt final, another brutal chapter in the long-running soap's history of shocking exits and emotional farewells. Fans mourned the character, debated his legacy, and eventually accepted that Graham was destined to live on only in memories and old storylines. Or so they thought. Then, in January this year, Emmerdale delivered a twist that left audiences stunned. In a dramatic episode that rippled across social media and dominated soap conversations, it was revealed that Graham had actually survived. Not only that, he had been living quietly, keeping a low profile for several years, hidden from the village and from those who once loved and loathed him in equal measure. The revelation was classic Emmerdale, bold, emotional, and impossible to ignore. Suddenly, a character many believed dead was very much alive, and the past came crashing back into the present. Graham's return to the village, however, was anything but triumphant. If he had imagined slipping back into his old life, he quickly learned that Emmerdale does not forget easily. His reappearance was met with suspicion, anger, disbelief, and a chill that cut deeper than the Yorkshire winter. Among those most visibly unsettled was Kim Tate, portrayed by the formidable Claire King. As Graham's former partner, Kim had her own complicated history with him, one defined by power struggles, passion, and betrayal. Seeing him alive after years of believing him dead reopened wounds she had carefully sealed. Rona, too, struggled to process Graham's return, and Joe Tate, played by Ned Porteous, found himself at the emotional center of the storm. Graham had once been more than just a figure in Joe's life. He had served as a legal guardian and a paternal presence, offering guidance and stability during a turbulent period. Learning that Graham had survived and chosen not to return was a shock that cut deeply. At first, Joe's reaction was one of disbelief and anger. Questions hung heavily in the air. Why had Graham stayed away? Why hadn't he reached out? And how could he expect to simply return after years of silence? Yet as time passed, Joe's feelings began to shift. The initial shock softened into reflection, and reflection gave way to understanding. Graham, flawed as he was, had once been someone Joe relied on, and that history mattered. In a move that surprised many, Joe eventually had a change of heart. Choosing forgiveness over resentment, he extended an invitation for Graham to stay at home farm. It was a gesture rooted not just in nostalgia, but in a desire to rebuild something that once felt like family. The decision, however, wasn't Joe's alone.
Home Farm is Kim Tate's domain, and any change within its walls requires her consent. Creating domestic harmony with Graham under the same roof was no small ask, given their shared past. Yet, in a rare moment of compromise, Kim agreed to let Graham move back into the farm with Joe. Her motivation was clear: Joe's happiness. Kim recognized that Graham's presence brought Joe a sense of comfort and closure, and while the arrangement was far from easy, it reflected a willingness, however begrudging, to put Joe's emotional well-being first. As Graham settled back into village life, viewers found themselves drawn to him all over again. His return reignited fascination with the character, and social media buzzed with reactions. Many fans were captivated not just by the storyline, but by Graham himself. In particular, viewers couldn't stop talking about his voice. Graham's deep, rich, velvety tones had long been one of his defining features, and hearing it again after so many years felt oddly
Graham
comforting.
and his sexy voice, one fan enthused online. Another wrote simply, "Graham with that voice, though," followed by heart eyes emojis that said it all. For some viewers, the voice was as much a part of the character as his moral ambiguity and quiet intensity. It carried authority, warmth, and mystery all at once, a combination that made Graham endlessly compelling on screen. But while fans swooned over Graham's familiar tones, few realized just how different the man behind the character truly sounded. Actor Andrew, who hails from Harrogate, speaks nothing like his Emmerdale alter ego in real life. Away from the cameras, his voice carries a subtle northern accent, far removed from the polished, resonant delivery that Graham uses to command a room. This contrast has surprised many over the years, particularly when Andrew appears in interviews. During a 2018 appearance on ITV's Lorraine, viewers got a glimpse of the real man behind Graham Foster. As Andrew chatted comfortably with the presenter, his natural speaking voice stood in sharp contrast to the one fans associated so strongly with his character. The transformation is a testament to Andrew's skill as an actor. Accents, inflections, and vocal tone are carefully crafted elements of character building, and Graham's voice was no accident. It was designed to reflect his background, his authority, and his emotional restraint, qualities that made him such a magnetic presence on screen. Speaking previously about Graham's shocking resurrection and return to Emmerdale, Andrew admitted that the twist came as a surprise even to him. "I never expected it at all," he revealed. "Although saying that, I did think that Graham always had a possibility of coming back." It was a telling admission. In the world of soap operas, death is rarely absolute. Characters have a habit of returning from the brink, often with dramatic consequences. And Graham, with his complex history and unfinished relationships, was always a candidate for resurrection. Still, knowing something is possible and seeing it actually happen are two very different things. When the call came inviting Andrew back to the show, it marked not just a professional opportunity, but a return to a role that had clearly left its mark. Keeping Graham's comeback a secret proved to be one of the trickiest parts of the process. "Oh yes, it's been a big secret," Andrew admitted, "and I kept it mostly quiet from my family, which was tricky." Soap storylines are notoriously hard to keep under wraps, especially in the age of social media and online spoilers. For Andrew, maintaining secrecy meant carefully dodging questions, avoiding slip-ups, and resisting the urge to share the news with loved ones. He revealed that only a very small circle of people were trusted with the truth. "Oh yes, just a limited few," he said. "Certainly it is on one hand." Even some family members were kept in the dark. Andrew recalled how a few cousins contacted him after the episode aired, sending messages that were equal parts amused and annoyed. "You sod," they wrote, clearly shocked that he'd managed to keep such a huge secret from them. The effort paid off. When the episode finally aired, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Fans flooded social media with disbelief, excitement, and endless speculation about what Graham's return would mean for the village. For Emmerdale, the twist injected fresh energy into the show.
Old tensions resurfaced, new dynamics formed, and long-buried secrets threatened to come to light. Graham's presence acted like a catalyst, forcing characters to confront their pasts and reassess their futures. For viewers, it was a reminder of why soap operas continue to hold such power. They thrive on history, on shared memories, and on the emotional investment built over years, sometimes decades. When a character like Graham returns, it's not just a plot twist, it's a reunion. As Graham navigates his second life in the village, his relationships remain complex and fragile. Trust is not easily rebuilt, and forgiveness takes time. Yet his story speaks to larger themes that resonate beyond the screen: redemption, second chances, and the enduring pull of home. And then there is the voice. Whether fans are swooning over its familiar warmth or expressing surprise when they hear Andrew's real accent, it has become an unexpected talking point, a reminder of the artistry behind the performance. Graham's voice may be fictional, but its impact is very real. In many ways, Graham Foster's return encapsulates everything Emmerdale does best. It blends shock with emotion, nostalgia with reinvention, and character-driven storytelling with moments that spark conversation far beyond the village. For Andrew, stepping back into Graham's shoes has been both a professional challenge and a privilege. Few actors get the chance to resurrect a character so completely, to explore what happens when someone returns after being presumed dead. For fans, it's been a thrilling reminder that in Emmerdale, no door is truly closed. As Graham continues to find his place once more among the fields and farmhouses of the village, one thing is certain: his story is far from over. And whether it's his complicated past, his uneasy relationships, or that unmistakable voice, viewers will be listening closely to every word he says.